Hi guys, back with another video on demand. So the other day I was asking about a color cardstock that I had put on this box, and so I showed this box as a way of, does anybody know what color this is? And everybody said, you have to give us directions for this. Let me give you a little history about the photo box. Back in April I went to Crop and Connect up in Maine, and Lanita Medina had these boxes at our places, and the whole theme was thinking out of the box. And she said, think of the things that you could do with this. And then I saw the box make another appearance at Cassie Olberg's Crop and Connect in July. And so I kind of said, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to do this. So I made this and fell in love with it. Now, Lanita had, she said she'd purchased them on Amazon. I found them at Oriental Trading. It had Oriental Trading stamped on the bottom of it. And it's a 3x3 box, but what you're going to find is 3x3 doesn't necessarily mean 3x3 with measurements, because my measurements with this box were very different than the measurements with this box, which is what we're going to do today. These boxes are the paper mache boxes. And I found these at Hobby Lobby. You can find them at Michael's or whatever. And it says 3x3 box. Now, these are not as tall as these are. And the measurements are a little wonky. So whichever box you get, you're going to have to play with the measurements. So please don't take my measurements as the absolute measurements. Okay, so these are the pieces that you're going to need. As I told you, the cuts are going to be really individualized. I can give you a general idea of it, but once you get in and do it, you're going to need to do your own measurements and cuts. But basically, you're going to need 2 cuts for the top. Now remember, I said this is a 3-inch box. Funny enough, 3 inches doesn't really fit. So what I had to do was I did 2 clicks away from 3 inches. And by clicks, what I'm talking about are these little tiny lines on the side here. So I did 1, 2 clicks away from the 3 inches for the tops. And you're going to do that as a square. And then you're going to need the inside piece. It's just going to adhere here. And that's a straight 2.75 square. So you'll need 2 of those. Additionally, in the blue, you're going to need 4 2.5 squares and 1 1/2-inch by 12-inch square. In the purple, it's a little bit easier. You need about 1 inch, 1.75 by 12. And then you need 6 2.5-inch squares. All right. The other things that you need, obviously you need your cutter. You're going to need some washi tape. Now, this CM tape is in our advisor section, and it's super cheap, so I always like using this stuff for any projects like this. So you get the 2 rolls for $4, I think it is, in the advisor section. You need your box, and then for the tops, for right now, I really am enjoying this medallion punch. It's the new medallion punch. So I just punched out 2, 1 for the top and 1 for the bottom. So, oh, don't forget your tape. You're going to need really the regular CM tape. This is one of the times where the repositionable tape doesn't work nearly as well. You really need something with some good stick to it. And in all honesty, I found that the paper mache boxes don't work as well as the wooden boxes that come from Oriental Trading. But we're going to give it a try and see what we come up with. Okay, so let's put this together now. I always want to do these odd size squares first, which is the outside of the box, so that I don't get it confused with the smaller squares that are going to form the accordion. So the first thing that I want to do, make sure I have the right size there. So I'll double check. I thought I did that right. Yeah. Okay. So these 2 blue pieces are going to be the top and the bottom. Okay. So, and again, I'm going to use my regular tape and not my repositionable tape. It has a better stick. And for some reason, if you have a choice, just order the wooden boxes off of Oriental Trading or Amazon or wherever you can find them. So I've put the blue square and then I put a coordinating purple square just so that everybody has a good color contrast when we're putting these together. And just eyeball it just to make sure it's kind of in the center. Okay, so that part's done. Oh, I also want to stick one on the inside right here. You need the strength of the Creative Memories paper on the inside of it. That's what you're going to want to hold your accordion pieces to, because because it doesn't stick as well to the paper mache, you want to give it something that we know it will adhere well to. So always put a piece of cardstock in the bottom, and this is the one that measures 2.75 square, and it fits in there pretty well. And I'm going to do another one of those 2.75 squares on the bottom. On these parts that are adhering directly to the box, be generous with your tape, okay? And this one's going to fit in here pretty snug, because of course it's not going to be the same size as the other ones we did. You won't see it in the long run. And then let's go ahead and do our bottom. So then just go ahead and adhere the bottom piece to the bottom here. And your contrast square. Centered. Now if you're like me, you're going to lose pieces. And where did I put that piece? Where did I put the piece? So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these. For these pieces, you want to use the repo tape because it doesn't show through when you set it down. All right, so we've got the top and the bottom set. That's what we really are worried about, because we don't have all different size squares and we forget which size square we're working with. So we can go ahead and set that aside now, and let's work on the accordion bit. So I have 4 of the blue and 4 of the purple, and I'm going to alternate those. Those of you who remember from the triangle, I always like alternating things to give different depth. I'm going to set this aside because it's a little longer than this. And so here's what I want to do. I'm going to set up the squares and make sure that the edges match. And then I start with 3 at a time. And then I take my CM washi tape. I'm not a big washi tape user, but it really is perfect for this project. And I'm going to overlap. So set it down, try hard not to move it. And you also want to make sure that that washi tape is straight on there. All right, now let's do this one. Double check I measure. There we go. And tape down. Okay, so I've put the washi tape on all of the pieces on one side, but because this is a lot of bending, you want to make sure that you double washi tape the washi tape. So I'm going to carefully lift this. And we're just going to repeat the process on this side. Again, it gives it just that extra strength. All done. Now, just grab your scissors and snip off those ends. Be careful, you don't want to snip the paper, but you do want to get the edge of the washi tape right up against the paper. So I just put my scissors right, I can feel my scissors on the edge of the paper, and one snip. So now you're just going to fold it accordion style, and you're going to make sure that you double seal the washi tape like I'm doing here, because it'll come off a little bit. It won't be a perfect, like you can see, this one on the edge has a little play here. That's okay. You won't notice it at all because that's the one that's going to get taped to the inside of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to put, and I always put it down so that I make sure I know which side I'm putting the tape on. So I'm going to start with the one that goes on the inside box because that's definitely the trickier one. It's not too tricky, but it is a little bit tricky there. Again, get a lot of tape in there. The one time I say, be generous with the tape. And then as you see, I'm just kind of taking it apart, unfolding it, and placing it in. And when I'm placing it in, I'm looking to make sure that I'm placing it as close to the center of that as possible. And I just give it a good press down. And now I'm going to go to the other side. And there you go. You have the basis for your accordion box. Washi tape wants to stick to me. The basis to your accordion box. It's ready for putting pictures on. Now, some people have gone as far as decorating the inside of the box, and I tried that. I was like, oh, let me try decorating the inside of the box. If you do that, only put one strip of paper. Don't put like a strip of paper and then another strip of paper on top of it or anything, because it will catch when the photos are extended like that. So just one strip of paper on the inside will work. Let's finish up with the outside though. So I have, it's about 1.5 inches. Again, please don't take my measurements as golden. You're going to have to measure for yourself because it seems that each one of these boxes is different. And I'm going to adhere it to the outside of the box. Now, this is a little bit tricky in how I do this because I want to make sure it's impossible. You can cut it if you want so that the edges match up perfectly, but this little overlay tends to help it hold itself together. So, here I'm going to put the tape on the box itself because I know that the box is getting covered, and that'll allow me some play with the paper to make sure I can get the paper correctly. So again, remember, these boxes really aren't great for holding it all together. Now for the first starting run, go ahead and measure it right up to the edge. Okay. And then you're just going to continue around. And you want to make sure that you sharpen or crease the edges nice and tight. Here. And that you're keeping it straight. Always my problem. So give it a nice crease here. Helps it stick. So pick this one up carefully and fold it underneath so that you have the nice crisp edge here. Oh, look at that. Put it on the box. So just add some extra tape there. That way I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to cut it straight. So there's your outside top. And now let's do the top of the box. I picked the alternating blue pattern. And it's just the same thing that we're going to repeat. Okay. There you go. Now you're ready to put pictures in it. So there you go, your finished little photo box. I just love these. I think they are so cute. Here is the completed one that I did last week. And you can see all of the pictures that you can put in here, not only on this side, but on this side as well. So they really, really look cute, and it is a stunning little piece. I also decorated the outside. This strip, Time is a Gift, is from our Memories and Memoirs new sticker pack, and I thought it fit perfectly with what the whole object of my photo box was about. So I would love to see your pictures. Let's be careful about clogging up that website, because I know a lot of people were like, stop, put it all in an album. But I really want to see your pictures. So you can find me either on Facebook at Amy's CM Stories, or just catch up with me on our advisor page. I'd love to hear how you're doing. Don't forget, my Croptober retreat is actually in September. September 6th, 7th, and 8th. Our theme is Traveling Back in Time. We have a couple of seats left, and I'd love to have you. Join us in Hagerstown, Maryland. Just PM me for the details, and I'll make sure you get signed up.